One of the more curious customs among colleges and universities is the awarding of honorary degrees. The road to doctor is long and arduous, and indeed, many more begin this journey than complete it. That notwithstanding, a university president is invested with the power to bestow the doctorate honoris causa. This is a carefully guarded privilege, reserved for quite extreme cases of selfless service to the university, the community, or humankind. And it is my privilege tonight to make such an award. We are a business school. You might ask, therefore, why we have the High Sheriff of Polk County as our speaker. What can he teach us about business? Well, quite a bit, actually. First is the value of education. You don't make sergeant in Polk County without a bachelor's degree. You don't make captain without a master's degree. And the sheriff walks the walk, holding an associate's degree from Polk Community College and bachelor's and master's degrees from our fellow ICUF school, Rollins College. And he can speak to the value of lifetime learning, having completed professional development at such places as the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Senior Management Institute for Police, the National Sheriff's Association, and the Jewish Institute for National Security Affairs Law Enforcement Exchange, among so many others. And he embodies a notion that paying one's dues and sticking to the knitting pays dividends. Since he started at the sheriff's office in 1972, he has progressed from telecommunicator to deputy sheriff to corporal to sergeant to lieutenant to captain to major to colonel to sheriff. And he can speak to the value of giving back. Having served with Citizen CPR, the PACE Center for Girls, Volunteers in Service to the Elderly, Keep Polk Beautiful, the Rape Crisis Recovery Center, Healthy Families Polk, the Boy Scouts, Rotary, among so many others. And he could speak to the fact that one can be successful and honorable. A husband of 42 years, a devoted father of 2, and a grandfather of 9, an Eagle Scout, a man of duty, a man of his word. And finally, he brings home what I told so many of you when I first saw you at an open house 4 or 5 years ago. You better learn business, because if you're any good at what you do, and I don't care whether that's accountant or lawyer or cop, you'll be managing people before you know it. The Polk County Sheriff's Office employs 1,724 full-time, 273 part-time, 3,405 volunteer members. The array of skills and trades is mind-boggling. Beyond the deputy sheriffs and detention deputies you think of, there are accountants, attorneys, cooks, educators, gunsmiths, human resource generals and specialists, information technology specialists, mechanics, pilots, public information officers, scientists, secretaries, telecommunicators, and veterans, among others. The sheriff, you see, runs a $138 million a year business that holds 9 accreditation. It's a 24/7, 365 business, and some of his customers aren't that thrilled to be doing business with him. I feel safer having him as our sheriff. I'm proud to count him amongst my friends. Mr. Sheriff, will you please join me at the podium? Mr. Chairman, will you assist me in presenting our distinguished speaker with the outward manifestation of his scholarship? By authority in me vested, in recognition of a lifetime of service, I hereby bestow upon Grady Judd the degree of Doctor of Business Administration, honoris causa. Dr. Judd, the Weber podium is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to be with you tonight and to tell you out of 17,945 law enforcement agencies in the nation, not only do we have 9 accreditations, but we're ranked number 1 in the nation. That came because of education, formal education of our staff, the men and women of the Sheriff's Office, supported by the community. But tonight, graduates, I want to talk to you for a minute. Congratulations. Doesn't that sound great? You know, I can remember thinking back in the day, this is what it must be like to get out of prison. You've proven yourself to be successful. Now I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to be a servant leader for the rest of your life. Now, some of you are thinking, hey, I don't want to be a manager. I don't want to supervise. I just want to go forth in the discipline that I love. Well, all supervisors and managers should be servant leaders. But what I'm talking about today is much, much more than that. You will set examples by your actions which will influence others' behaviors. Because people listen to your words, but they emulate your behavior. There are influential people in every aspect of your life. They're leaders. And many times you don't even think of them as servant leaders. So let me point out maybe the obvious to some and not so to others. How about your mom or your dad, husband, wife, significant other, your mentor, your friends, your teachers? Those are the people that mean the world to you, and they want everything good for you in life. Yes, they're all servant leaders. They put you first. They love you. They exude confidence. They're loyal to you. They've been dedicated to you. They want you to succeed. They create a win-win attitude so that you succeed and those around you succeed. They set positive examples. They encourage you. And you know, they encourage you when all others may even give up. Now, servant leaders serve because they want you to be successful. Whether it be family, church, work, play, the job, here is how you can also become a servant leader. Renowned author Stephen Covey tells us you must first be principle-centered. Your life must be balanced. Stephen Covey tells us God has to be first, family second, your career third, and then you put yourself last. Live your life for what you can do for others. Serve others. Reach out to those that are less fortunate and in need. Help others be successful. Invest time in civic events in your community. Ladies and gentlemen, you will reap what you sow. President Calvin Coolidge said, "No man was ever honored for what he received. Honor is rewarded for what he gave." Your service to others doesn't have to be something that makes the front page of newspapers. In fact, the key to service is not in fanfare. You as a servant leader may do things that may seem insignificant to those around you, but it makes a life-changing difference to the one you help. It is truly the small things you do in life that makes the biggest difference. Now let me share a story from Lauren Isley. It's the old man. He was walking the beach at dawn, and he noticed up ahead of him a young man. And this young man was picking up starfish, and he was throwing them into the waves. So he caught up with the youth, and he said, "My son, what is it that you're doing?" And he said, "Well, I'm picking up these starfish, and I'm throwing them back into the water because they'll surely die on the beach under the morning sun." And the old man looked at him and said, "What difference can you possibly make? The beach is miles and miles long, and there's millions and millions of starfish." And as the young man reached down and he picked up a starfish, he says, "I can make a difference to this one," as he threw it into the sea. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you help people. That's how you practice as a servant leader, by helping people one at a time. Now, you have to create a vision of serving others. It begins with a dream. And you translate the dream to a vision of success. You create a plan. And then you execute your plan with hard work. Listen to me, folks. Hard work has never been replaced. Your plan must include listening, empathy, healing, persuasion, foresight, stewardship, and caring for others to make sure they succeed. Servant leaders work hard. Life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So must be your plan to serve others. Remember, nothing in life is free, not even failure. Your life's what you make of it. I still remember one of my teachers from 4th grade, Dora Frost. She used to tell us over and over, you cannot be anything you want to be, but you can be anything that you work to be. And in Tony Dungy's book, he tells us success occurs from doing what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it. Not most of the time, but all of the time. No excuses, no explanations. Now, servant leaders possess and display character, integrity, ethics, morals, value, respect, and trust. And I'm going to say that a couple more times for the evening's over. Every day, all the time. One trait is not less important than the others, and all defines who you are. But let's look at trust for an example. Servant leaders display trust in perpetuity. You cannot receive trust until you first give trust. Until trust is established, your life, your family, your work will not move in the right direction. You cannot have trust without character and integrity. Leaders must build trust through accurate, timely, and cutting-edge methods. Did you know the average American spends approximately 37 minutes a day on social media? I thought that was a little light myself. Instagram has over 300 million members who post 70 million photos a day. Facebook hosts 250 billion photos, and its users post 3.5 billion posts per week. There are 288 million active Twitter users who send 5 million tweets a day. Instant communication will make you competitive in our fast-moving society. It would allow you to stay in touch with the world. With instant communication, we must understand it will define who you are. It will define your character, your integrity, your ethics, your morals, your values, your respect, and your trust. All of that will show in vivid color. Now, ladies and gentlemen, social media will make you or it will break you. So please remember, you cannot unring the social media bell. When it's out there forever. You're not only responsible for the post, you're also liable for its content, and that should be a pretty scary thought, especially when you're going to apply for a job in this environment and your bosses look to see who you really are in the internet world. There are a world of infinite opportunities that await you, and it all depends on your attitude. You must have a servant's attitude to be successful. You can alter your life by altering your attitude. I've seen many bright, intelligent, talented people crash and burn because of their attitude. Listen to me closely. People don't care how good you are or what you can do, even for them, if you're a miserable soul to be around. Self-esteem is important. If you don't believe in yourself, why should anyone else believe in you? Don't be afraid to make mistakes. People who work hard make mistakes. Be a visual learner. Learn from others' mistakes. I can tell you it's a whole lot less painful to learn it from someone else. Please remember, positive examples are created from past mistakes. When you care, you're going to be your own worst critic. And when you make one of those terrible mistakes, learn from it, forgive yourself, and move on. Servant leaders never give up. Abraham Lincoln said it best, you cannot fail if you resolutely determine that you will not fail. It takes personal sacrifice to be a servant leader. It takes long hours. There is no obstacle you can't overcome. It's a matter of being able to and dedicated to and willing to do whatever's necessary. And the road to success is not easy, it's competitive. You think of the grand job you want, others are thinking the same thing. Always remember that they can't beat you if you don't give up. Perseverance and determination always win. Never lose your perspective. Always keep your goals in mind. Now, this reminds me of the story of the bricklayers. There were 3 bricklayers working side by side on a project, putting the great physical effort on their task. When asked what they were doing, the first said, "I'm laying the foundation." The second bricklayer replied that he was building a wall. With no hesitation, the third bricklayer replied that he was building a cathedral. What's interesting is each of their responses was absolutely accurate, yet all were different, and one had the big view. Never lose your perspective. You are always part of the bigger picture. Now, others are going to tell you you're too young or you're too new and you need to wait your turn, and that's baloney. Don't listen to them. It's never too soon to serve. It's never too soon to succeed. And I've heard it all my life. Starting at 16, when I wanted to work on the local ambulance back in the day, they said, "You're too young." But I went to work on the ambulance. I delivered my first baby when I was 16. That scarred me for life. At 18, I went to work for the sheriff's office. At 19, I was the youngest deputy sheriff in the history of the sheriff's office. At 22, I was the youngest corporal. At 23, I was the youngest sergeant. At 25, I was the youngest lieutenant. At 27, I was the youngest captain. Now, I know I have some people that work for me here, and I thank you for making us the best in the world, but there will not be any more 27-year-old captains. Had I listened to the people who told me no along the way, I wouldn't be the sheriff today. While others drank beer and partied, I went to college. I knew what I wanted, and I knew what I had to do to get it. I knew my mission was to serve others. But no doesn't mean no. No only means it was the wrong approach. Never accept no as a final answer. No one succeeds at anything on their own. Listen, folks, we stand on the shoulders of the giants who supported us and helped us along the way. No one gets to their station in life by themselves. A great musician makes no music without the one who made the instrument. Ford didn't build the car by himself. There is no NFL without the one who made the ball. There is no skyscraper until the laborer pours the foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, the world needs you as a servant leader. We are waiting for you. We have been waiting for you to graduate. We need your knowledge, your enthusiasm, your motivation, your technological skills. We need your fresh new ideas, your character, your integrity, your ethics, your morals, your values, your trust, your honesty. We need your caring attitude. You are our most precious resource. You're the future and hope. You are our servant leaders of the future. Now, as Paul Harvey said, for the rest of the story, how long has this servant leadership stuff been around? Well, since the 4th century BC. Now you know why this great nation has succeeded, because of the servant leaders who came before us, who cared for us, and those are the people on whose shoulders we all stand today. And guess what? You are the next generation of servant leaders, and we will be in great hands with you in control. Now, in the infinite wisdom of the most renowned doctor, no, it's not Dr. Oz, and no, it's not Dr. Phil. It's Dr. Seuss. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. May God bless you always.
Thank you, Sheriff Dr. Judd.